coming to the ashram to have Swamiji's darshan. But let me tell you, or let me warn you, that if he comes to the ashram and has Swamiji's darshan once, he will not return home. Okay? Now, this lady could not believe it. She thought that Swamiji was just trying to, you know, play games with her or frighten her, saying that don't try to bring your husband here. Yeah. But then the problem remained because the husband would not take up any responsibility at home. Okay, so she kept pestering her husband. And so one evening, somehow she could convince her husband to come to the ashram. And then he came that evening. Okay. And he visited the ashram. He came to the ashram and he saw Swamiji. He had darshan of Swamiji. Okay. And I mean, we don't have a description from Adinarayana himself as to what happened or why he felt like that. But he was so impressed by Swamiji. Just by just by looking at him, that was the first time he came to the ashram and the first time he looked at Swamiji in his life. Okay. And he simply surrendered to Swamiji. Surrender, what I mean is, he took a decision that he is not going to go home. He will remain in the ashram and serve Swamiji. Now, how will he serve Swamiji? What will he do for Swamiji? Nothing was clear. But the decision was clear that he is not going to leave Swamiji. That's all. Okay, then he stayed back. Okay. Now, to explain the situation, I would like to explain the life of Swamiji's disciples who were staying with him at the old ashram in Bangalore. Okay. Those who have come to the new ashram and seen the new ashram might think that it's quite comfortable, rooms with attached bathrooms, beds, cots, mattresses, okay, individual rooms for guests and all that. I'm sorry, that was not at all the case with the old ashram, especially in 1963. That was when the ashram was just started, right? Swamiji used to live there, and a few devotees who had accompanied Swamiji from Adivarapeta. See, in 1963 itself, Swamiji traveled out of Adivarapeta for the first time. Until then, he was in tapas, right? He completed in tapas in 1961, 7th of August. And 2 years later, he was in Bangalore in a new ashram, totally new place. He didn't know the language here. For your information, the language spoken here in Bangalore, or actually the whole of Karnataka, is Kannada. And the language spoken in Adivarapeta or in Andhra Pradesh was Telugu. Okay, so it's a totally different language, different people altogether, unknown people, and a few boys of the same age as Swamiji. How old was Swamiji at that time? 28 years. You can calculate that, right? 1935 was when he was born, and we are talking of 1963. And the people who traveled along with him from Adivarapeta were about the same age. Probably 30 years, 26, 24, like that. So I can count, I don't know exactly. I'll have to check and verify this. But as far as I know, Kodandam was there. I've spoken about him earlier, I think. I will talk about him again. He was from the area of Adivarapeta. Then my maternal uncle, that is, I talked about the Tahsildar, Garaga Narasimhamurthy. His son's name was Ramakrishna. Okay. We'll come to his story a little later on. I don't want to spend too much time on that because I want to focus on Adinarayana. Okay. So he was summoned by Swamiji, so he came along with Swamiji. Okay. Then there was Venkataraju. who was the nephew of Swamiji. Okay. Now, these three people I know very well that they had come from Adivarapeta area and they were living with Swamiji in Bangalore. They were serving him, they were living there. Now, if you look at the ashram, it had a few rooms, probably two, three rooms, that's all. In addition to the darshan hall, where Swamiji would sit and give darshan. So, one side of the ashram was Swamiji's room, the bathroom, toilet, and there was a kitchen. I'm not sure if it was an equipped kitchen or planned kitchen or anything like that. One room was being used as a kitchen. On the other side was another big room. Adjacent to that, two small rooms were there. One was being used as the office room. The other rooms were shared by these people who have come from Adivarapeta. Okay. Now, the only room that was left for Adinarayana was indeed the office room. Okay, where all people would be received, talk to devotees of Swamiji, tell them when the program is, what is going to happen, all that, right? So all visiting devotees would come to the office first, like that. Now, you also require storage for Vibhuti, right? When I came here in 69, I saw that a whole room, a big room was full of Vibhuti. So nobody could have stayed there. The situation was like that. So in that situation, Adinarayana simply left his wife and children, his home, and came over to the ashram, and he wanted to stay in the ashram, live in the ashram. Okay? Once in a while, he might have gone home to pick up more clothes or something like that. Or probably he had some two pairs of clothes, he would wash them and wear them again, and that's all. And please note, no attached bathrooms there in the old ashram. I'm talking about in those days. Probably Swamiji had one bathroom and toilet which he would use by himself, right? So none of the other devotees would use that, right? So actually, I cannot tell you where or which toilet or bathroom these people were using. I don't know. I need to find out. But the point I'm trying to make here is the life in the ashram, old ashram, was so difficult. And how about food? Whatever they got, whatever the devotees provided them, they had to eat that. Okay, and these were young men. Okay, I am talking about 22 to 30 years of age. Probably Swamiji continued with the diet of milk and fruit. Okay, but would they be able to afford milk and fruit for all the other devotees? We don't know, right? So, in all respects, it was a very difficult life at the old ashram. But in spite of that, Adinarayana was so impressed and so attracted to Swamiji that he decided to leave his house, family, and come and stay at the ashram. I know that he had at least two children, one daughter and one son. There could be more, I don't know. Okay. And then he came to the ashram and lived there. Okay. So this is how Adinarayana came to Swamiji. Okay. Now, did he know that he had an previous life connection with Swamiji? No, not at all. Did Swamiji tell him that? Did Swamiji tell anybody else that Adinarayana is an old devotee of Swamiji? No, nothing like that. Okay, I'll tell you what he was in his previous lifetime later on. Okay, so now I just want to spend a few minutes describing uh, what all happened later on. Okay, so as we can assume, his wife would come to the ashram and try to persuade her husband to return home, but he refused. So he would not go home. Probably he went once in a few days, but not every day. Okay. So then that lady went to Swamiji and she started complaining to Swamiji. Swamiji, my husband has come here. Now he's refusing to come home. He's staying here. He's living with you and all that. Swamiji told her, I warned you. I told you that if your husband comes here once and has Swami darshan, he will not come back home. You did not listen to me. You persuaded him to come to the ashram. So he has come and he is living here. But I have not tied him up here. I am not putting any restrictions on him. Any time you want to take him home, you are free to do that. You go and talk to him, you take him home, whichever way you want. I have no objection whatsoever. Okay? So after that, again, she tried several times, but he would not go home. Okay? Now, it turned out that that lady was so angry at Swamiji. Okay? She left coming to the ashram. And let me tell you, I lived at the ashram along with Adinarayana, I think for almost 10 years. In all those 10 years, I have neither seen his wife nor his children. They wouldn't even come to the ashram. And Adinarayana had surrendered his whole life. He served Swamiji for his entire life until he passed away. Okay? I'll come to that a little detail. I don't want to spend too much time because our focus is on how do devotees recognize their guru, probably from the previous birth, and then return to the guru, right? So this is what happened with Adinarayana. Okay. Now, Adinarayana was not a very rich man, probably a middle class family. Okay. So whenever he went home, he would get some money for his personal use. Okay. And please note this. I'll come to that story a little later on, sometime during the satsangs. Swamiji also did not have any money during that time. He came over from Adivarapeta. He didn't bring any money. And all the others who came along with him, they also did not bring any money. Okay. My uncle, I told me that having come to Bangalore and having settled down here, he found a job in Bangalore and he was working on the job. So he would earn some money. Okay. But how many people can be fed with that? And I don't know if he spent his money to feed all the people there. I'm not sure about that. He had his own parents to take care of. His father was retired and he was not getting much pension. His mother had to be taken care of. My uncle was married, so my auntie was there. Okay, and coming to Swamiji. Swamiji did not have any money. He never touched cash. He never touched money. Okay. So whatever money the devotees used to donate, all these people, and in a few years, Swamiji's mother came over here and her grandchildren. They also came over here. They were living with her. Swamiji's elder brother had passed away. I think immediately after the tapas or while the tapas was going on. But his children were there. Swamiji's brother's children were there. They came here. Parvatamma brought them here and she used to take care of them. Those children also have to be fed. And everything else, right? School fees, clothes for them. Everything has to be taken care of. So again, the point I'm trying to make is financially also these people were in a very bad situation. Okay, it's not that there was a lot of money, they could eat whatever they want and they could enjoy life and stay at the ashram. No, sorry. Not even like we had a good life at the new ashram. Okay. Right? Now, after that, one point I missed is Swamiji did not even have a bank account during those days. Not even for the ashram. There was no trust. I mean, I'm talking about Shri Shivabalayogi Maharaj trust, right? That trust was established later on. I'll come to that story sometime, okay? So at this time that I am talking about, when Adinarana decided to come and live at the ashram, there was no trust, no formal organization as such, okay? No money. Whatever donations come, people had to live on that, survive on those donations. That's all. Okay. Now, Adinarayana, as you know, he was a local person from Bangalore, right? So, although his mother tongue was Telugu, he knew Kannada very well because he lived and, he was brought up, he lived in Bangalore, Karnataka. So, he knew Kannada, okay? And he was well educated. He could speak very good English and he also knew Hindi. I think he knew Tamil also, but I don't remember him talking Tamil. Okay, so because of all the knowledge of all these languages, he became a kind of a contact between all the visiting devotees and Swamiji. Okay. Now remember that this is the time when Swamiji started the travels. From 1965 onwards, he started traveling to North India. He had been to Ahmedabad, Sambar Lake, Dehradun, Delhi, and all these places. And he used to travel by car. Okay. I heard that he traveled even to Varanasi, Kasi. And Adinarayana and my uncle Ramakrishna, they used to drive Swamiji's car. Okay. Now, in 1967, my uncle returned home because he got a job. So he wanted to be on the job. So he left Bangalore and then he returned home. Actually, he went to Orissa for the job. Okay. So from that time onwards, Adinarayana was the only driver left. Okay. So whatever cars were available for Swamiji's use, his job was to maintain the cars and also drive Swamiji wherever Swamiji wanted to go on those travels. So he would travel all the way to North India to Dehradun. Okay. And they would travel to Madras. In those days, Swamiji would not travel by train or would not travel by flight also. See, he could not afford travel by flight, okay? So he had to depend on the car and the road journey, that's all. Wherever he went, he used to go by road. Now, because Adinarayana knew the languages, 4 or 5 languages, including English and Hindi, he was the one who could talk to all the devotees all over the country. North India, as you know, mainly people speak Hindi, right? Of course, other languages are there, Gujarati, Marathi. Okay? But if you know Hindi, you can manage anywhere in North India. Okay, so that is the service that Adinarayana did most of the time. Okay, people used to call him driver. They thought he was an employed driver. He was not. He was not being paid any salary for being a driver of Swamiji. Okay, but because he used to drive Swamiji, devotees used to call him driver. But he never took offense even to that. Probably he felt very proud that he was Swamiji's driver. Okay. One more thing about Adinarayana. As I am telling you, he lived and traveled with Swamiji for several years. I should say probably 25, 26 years. Okay. But I have not come across even a single complaint from anybody that Adinarayana demanded money for his personal use. Okay. Of course, he used to collect money from devotees when devotees invited Swamiji to other places like Anantapur, Chennai, Dehradun. So people used to, the devotees who invited Swamiji to those places, it was upon them to somehow pay for Swamiji's travel, which is mainly the petrol charge. That's all. Swamiji never asked for anything else. But Adinarayana took only the fuel charge. He did not take any money for himself. Okay. I have not received even a single complaint, or even, I mean, nobody told me that he demanded money or he demanded clothes or he demanded anything at all. Okay. Not only that, when he came to the ashrams, the other ashrams, I was in Hyderabad, so I know when he came to the Hyderabad ashram, he would not even ask for a room to sleep in. He would just sleep in the car. So Swamiji would be given a room, probably uh, a lodge or a traveler's bungalow, as they used to call in those days, where the government officials, either state government officials or central government officials, when they traveled, they were put up in the travelers' bungalows. Okay. Swamiji used to get that kind of a thing, but Adinarayana would not get even that. So his clothes were in the car. Somehow he'll manage to have a bath. He'll eat the food that is given to devotees and he would sleep in the car. That's all, okay? So that's the kind of service that Adinarayana did for Swamiji. And there's one very interesting story uh, which happened at the ashram, at the Bangalore ashram, JP Nagar ashram. We know that in 1977, the new ashram in JP Nagar was ready. It was a huge ashram with, I think, 8 rooms for guests also. Very big rooms with attached bath and a toilet, okay, and comfortable rooms. So Swamiji moved there. Of course, he had his own chambers upstairs. So the rooms downstairs, Adinarayana occupied one of those rooms, okay. But look at his nature, okay. When any devotees who are visiting from outside of Bangalore, like for example, the annual functions, which are Swamiji's birthday function on the 24th of January, or Swamiji's tapas anniversary, which was on the 7th of August every year. These two functions used to be celebrated in a big way, and a number of devotees from all over the country used to come to Bangalore to join the celebrations. And Adinarayana had to share his room with the visiting devotees. This is the ashram in Bangalore in those days. It has changed a little, but this building remains as it is. This is that Dhyan Mandir and the attached rooms on the ground floor that I am talking about. On the first floor is the Dhyan Mandir. Okay. Now, when I came to Bangalore and stayed at the new ashram for the first time, I think it was in 1981, January, we came here to attend Swamiji's birthday. I stayed in Adinarayan's room. So that was the arrangement, okay? Not everybody could be given a separate room. So whoever did not get a room would join Adinarayana in his room. And he never objected to that. Okay, so we would use his room, we would use the toilet and everything. And then we would participate in the function. This is how it used to happen. Okay. Now, after a few years, a devotee by the name of Shiladitya, he is from Indore, and he moved to the ashram. He became a devotee of Swamiji, and then he came to the ashram, and he lived at the ashram for a few years. Okay. So when he came to the ashram and when he was living there, he was not given a separate room by Swamiji. Instead, he was asked to share Adinarayana's room. So they both used to stay in the same room. They both used to work in the office, taking care of accounts and sales of books and all that. So they knew each other very well. They knew what the other person was doing throughout the day. Okay. So during that time, Shiladitya noticed that Adinarayana never meditated. Okay. He knew how important it was for Swamiji that devotees do an hour of meditation every day. But he noticed that Adinarayana never practiced meditation. Although he was one of the devotees who had initiated a number of Swamiji's devotees. As I told you, he was traveling with Swamiji. He knew all the languages. So Swamiji used him to initiate several devotees. Okay. Even at public programs where hundreds of people would gather and hundreds of people had to be initiated, Adinarayana was one of the devotees who was initiating the people along with other devotees. Okay. And when nobody was available at the ashram, Adinarayana himself had to initiate devotees into meditation. So that being the case, Shiladitya found it very strange that a person who has been living with Swamiji for such a long time and who is a devotee of Swamiji, who is traveling with Swamiji, and how could it be that he did not do any meditation? But he observed and he found that Adinarayana never sat in meditation, either in the room or in the hall, never. So he had a doubt in his mind. So one day he directly asked Adinarayana, uh, how come you don't? I mean, I have not seen you meditating at all ever since I came here. It's now almost a few years, and I have not seen you doing any meditation at all. So, do you meditate at all? And the interesting reply that Adinarayana gave was, why should I meditate? I don't need to meditate. Swamiji meditates for me. Okay, this surprised Shiladitya very much. I mean, how can any devotee say that Swamiji is meditating for me? And he didn't understand it. I mean, can it be true? Does Swamiji meditate for a devotee? Or does Swamiji meditate for Adinarayana? He could not believe it. Okay, but he wanted to check on that. Okay, so what he did was one early morning when he came to Swamiji's room at the ashram to give Swamiji an oil massage, daily oil massage. Okay, he found that he was alone with Swamiji. He didn't want to ask this question in front of others. So he found that he was alone with Swamiji, and then slowly he broached the subject. He said, Swamiji, uh, I just found, I mean, I realized that Adinarayana never meditates. And so I asked him directly, I have not seen you meditate even once. So do you meditate at all? And then his reply surprised me. He tells me that Swamiji meditates for him, so he doesn't need to meditate. So he was looking for Swamiji's answer, whether Swamiji will accept that or refuse that or get angry at Adinarayana or what. Okay. To his surprise, it seems Swamiji replied, of course, I meditate for Adinarayana. He does not meditate by himself. I mean, he wouldn't have said I. Swamiji told him, yes, Swamiji meditates for Adinarayana. Adinarayana does not do any meditation. So Shiladitya was very surprised and he was taken aback. I mean, he didn't expect that answer from Swamiji. Probably assumed that Adinarayana was lying. But now Swamiji himself is admitting that Swamiji is practicing the meditation on behalf of Adinarayana. Okay, he was surprised. Now, to tell you the import of this, I mean, I don't know what the right word to use here, how unique that was. Let me tell you about my own experience, okay? As you know, as a few of you might know, Swamiji took me along as an interpreter uh, to the US and UK in the years 1990 and 1991. Okay. So while I was there, I had to do all the service for Swamiji. Okay. uh, give him the oil bath, oil massage followed by the bath, cook his breakfast, take care of him in all respects, okay? Then help him wherever he required assistance, dress him up, go along with him, interpret for him. All these things I used to do for him. So one lady devotee, she approached Swamiji and she asked him, Swamiji, Jagadish is doing so much service for you, almost the 24 hours, except the time that he's asleep. The rest of the time, either he's serving you or he's playing bhajans or he's initiating people, he's interpreting between you and the devotees. So does Jagadish also need to meditate? And I had to translate this to Swamiji, okay, this question to Swamiji. And Swamiji's answer was yes, Jagadish has to meditate. Service is not meditation. He was very clear and categorical about that. Okay. So that is to explain the answer that, I mean, it's not an explanation. Um, Maybe to put it in context, there was nobody else who could claim that Swamiji meditated for him or her. Adinarayana was unique in that sense. Okay. Now, a little more about Adinarayana and then we'll go to the other. This is actually the passing of Adinarayana. Adinarayana continued serving Swamiji until his last days. Okay. Now, during his last days, he developed a desire to accompany Swamiji to Sri Lanka. I mean, this was after the 1987 tour of Swamiji to the UK. So I think he was not happy that he did not travel with Swamiji to the UK, but he wanted to travel to Sri Lanka. Okay. So he got his airline ticket also booked along with that of Swamiji and Yashoda Akka, a devotee from Sri Lanka who was here in India. So three tickets were booked for them, Adinarayana, Yashoda Akka and Swamiji. Okay. So on the way to Colombo, I mean, they booked a flight from Chennai. I don't know. I'm not sure if in those days flights were not available from Bangalore or Bangalore was not an international airport. I'm not sure in those days. Later on, it became an international airport. So anybody who wanted to fly to Colombo or anywhere outside of India had to go to Chennai and then find a connection from there. Or Bombay or Delhi. We had to fly to Bombay, Delhi or Chennai and then travel abroad from there. So they went to Chennai. And for that night, I mean, before they caught the flight to Colombo, they were staying in a hotel. And whenever Swamiji went to Chennai, he preferred the Palm Grove Hotel. People who are from Chennai might know that it's a very old hotel. I think it's a five-star hotel. So Swamiji was given accommodation there. I don't know if the airlines provided that. So Swamiji was there. And Adinarayana and Yashodaka were in the same hotel, probably in adjacent rooms. And Adinarayana was in Swamiji's room the night before the flight to Colombo. Okay. And that night, while Yashoda was there along with them, suddenly he had a heart attack. Okay. And he would shout and groan in pain, saying, Swamiji, Swamiji, and then he could not bear the pain. And then he fell at Swamiji's feet and then he fell down unconscious because of the heart attack. Okay. So far as I know, Adinarayana is the only devotee who passed away in the physical presence of Swamiji. Okay. Then Swamiji arranged for his dead body to be transported to Bangalore. Okay, so a devotee of Swamiji who was there in Chennai to see him off, he was asked to go along with the body and then bring it to Bangalore. I was there at the Bangalore ashram. We got the information. Then we all joined the procession to the graveyard, and then he was interred here in Bangalore. Okay. So this is the story of Adinarayana. Manohar, I hope it's clear to you as to
Yes,
how
yes.
another devotee of Swamiji, Adinarayana, came to Swamiji, okay, and became his close disciple and served him throughout his life. Okay. So now let me tell you who Adinarayana was in his past life. Okay. Swamiji disclosed that Adinarayana was Sri Balaram Bose. Okay. When Swamiji was Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Adinarayana was Balaram Bose. I mean, anybody who reads about Sri Ramakrishna would have read about Balaram Bose. He was a householder devotee, a very prominent devotee of Ramakrishna. Okay. And the other important aspect of Balaram Bose is that it was at his house in Calcutta that Swami Vivekananda established Sri Ramakrishna Mission for the first time. Okay. Later on, it was shifted to the Belur Mutt, but the beginning was there. You know, when Vivekananda collected a few disciples of Ramakrishna and established the Ramakrishna Mission. Okay. There is another story which is, I mean, it's available on Google. Anybody can go there, and I think it's in Wikipedia. It seems Ramakrishna saw a vision in which he saw Balaram Bose in a Radha at Puri Jagannath Swami, along with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Let me clarify it. This is a vision that Ramakrishna Paramahamsa saw and told his devotees. What was the vision? The vision was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the procession, Rath Yatra of Jagannath, Puri Jagannath. Okay. So in that Rath Yatra, he could see, Ramakrishna could see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Balaram Bose. Okay. So the inference is Balaram Bose was associated with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We don't know his name during that lifetime. Then as Balaram Bose, he was associated with Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. And then as Adinarayana, he was associated with Shivabalayogi Maharaj. Okay? And what we know is that, I mean, again from the books, that it was Balaram Bose who used to support Ramakrishna financially. I mean, he and his devotees also. Although his situation itself was not very good. He was a rich man, he had a lot of property. But during the end times, even he was very poor. In spite of the poverty that he was suffering, he supported Ramakrishna and his mission. Okay. So that's the story I wanted to tell about Adinarayana. Yeah, Manohar. Anything? Any comments or anything you want to say?
No, Uncle, thank you so much for the information.
Okay, Manohar. Yeah, Navya. We can go
Yeah,
to the next question.
yes, Uncle. The second question is from the YouTube chat during the satsang on 11th July.
Huh.
So the question is, Uncle, I heard that Swamiji used to narrate a few stories from the ancient Indian Itihasas and
Yeah.
Puranas,
Huh.
but that his narration used to vary from that in those scriptures.
Huh.
Can you kindly share a few of such stories from Ramayana or Mahabharata?
Okay,
Yeah.
Nadia, thank you. But I don't know who this is because that person's name appeared as anonymous. Is that person there in the group now? Okay, anyway, I don't know if that person is willing to disclose his or her identity. That doesn't matter. We'll go ahead with answering his question, Amma. Okay? Okay, just a moment. After I got the question, I could recollect several stories that Swamiji told us, okay, from the Itihasas and the Puranas. So by Itihasa, what we mean is the history. Actually, Itihasa itself means history in Sanskrit. Okay, so it's a Sanskrit word. Purana also means an ancient story. Okay, so that's why I wrote it as Itihasas and Puranas. So, I mean, I added that in the question because the stories that Swamiji told us were not only from Ramayana and Mahabharata. There are a few stories from Ramayana and Mahabharata, but there were other stories also which Swamiji told us, which are related to our Sanatana Dharma. It is actually our ancient history. So I could recollect a few of them. I made a list of them. So I'll try to narrate a few of them. Again, I'm not sure if all those stories were narrated differently by Swamiji because I don't know the stories by myself. Okay, I don't know the original story, or I don't know whether we should call it original. I don't know the story as it is in the scriptures. I only know as it was narrated by Swamiji. Okay, some stories I have an idea, and because I have read Ramayana and Mahabharata, I can make out if there is a difference and if Swamiji is telling us something different. Okay, but most of the times he would disclose something that is not generally known. Again, I'm not sure 100% about this, that this version or this narration of Swamiji is not there in the scriptures at all. I cannot guarantee that. Okay, but he told us that, I mean, the way, and I remember that, I know that. Okay, so I'm going to tell you that. I might add the regular story also that people know so as to make sense, right? Otherwise, independently, if I tell you one sentence that Swamiji told you, you may not be able to make out how it is connected to our Itihasas or Puranas. Okay, so with that introduction, let me start with the most ancient story as per Swamiji. Okay, this is how Swamiji used to tell us. A few times, Swamiji was questioned the origin of creation, Srishti. How did it take place? What happened in the beginning? How did it start? Okay. And his story was consistent. He would always tell the same story in the same way. Okay. Uh, you might find it very simple, no complication and no emotion also involved in that. Okay. So that used to make us, I mean, a little humorous. His narration, probably we can say it is a little humorous, but he used to tell us the same thing again and again. Okay. So I leave it to you whether you actually take it as it is or it's up to you how you take it. Okay. Now, the origin of creation, Srishti. The way Swamiji used to tell us is Gayatri Devi was the first being who manifested herself from nature. Okay? So that means before her, before she manifested herself, there was nothing in the universe. Absolutely nothing. Okay? From that nothing, from that vacuum, Gayatri Devi manifested herself. And then, see, this is the story that Swamiji told us. As I told you, very simple and straightforward story. So Swamiji told us Gayatri Devi manifested herself and she created Brahmadeva. And then she asked Brahmadeva to marry her for procreation. And Brahmadeva refused, saying that you are my mother, I cannot marry you. Then Gayatri Devi destroyed him, saying that if you are not willing to marry me and procreate, then there is no point in your existence. So she destroyed him. Okay. Then she created Mahavishnu. And she told him the same thing. Marry me so that we can procreate. Vishnu also refused. So she destroyed Vishnu also. And then she created Shiva. Okay. Now at this point, the interesting thing that Swamiji used to mention, and I heard this more than once, okay? You know, Shiva was very clever. He was not like Brahma or Vishnu. So when Gayatri Devi created Shiva and asked Shiva, marry me, he told her, you are so powerful. I don't have any powers at all. So I cannot marry you unless I am equal to you in power. So she agreed and she gave all the powers to Shiva. Okay. Then again Shiva put a condition saying that you have destroyed my elder brothers, two of my elder brothers. Please recreate them. Meaning remanifest them. Okay. So she agreed and then she recreated Brahma and Vishnu. Okay. Then Shiva asked her, see, you have three eyes. Gayatri Devi had the third eye on her forehead. I have only two eyes. So I am still not equal to you. I also need the third eye. So she granted him that wish also. And Shiva got a third eye. Now Swamiji told us, Shiva opened his third eye and destroyed Gayatri Devi. Okay? Reason being the same. Gayatri Devi was his mother, so he could not have married her. So he destroyed her. So none of the three could have married her. So she was destroyed. Okay? And these three, Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara, amongst themselves, they started the whole creation. Okay? Now, this is the reason Swamiji repeats that Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara are the primordial gods, the first gods. Okay, from them, the whole creation came into being. Everybody else came into being from there. Okay, we know the rest of the history. Prajapatis, I think there are 10 of them, and each one creating a different clan of people. Okay, like that. And we are told that even Surya was the son of a Prajapati. I don't know, I don't remember the name. It's there in his slokas. Okay, like that. So Daksha Prajapati was one of the Prajapatis. Some people call them Prajapitas. meaning father of uh, Praja. Praja meaning people. Okay. So then Swamiji told us that Gayatri Devi was born to Daksha Prajapati as his daughter. Okay. So that's how she gets the name of Dakshayini, because she is born to Daksha. Okay. And her given name was Sati Devi. So Sati Devi again fell in love with Lord Shiva and she married him. And I narrated the story of Sati Devi and Shiva in the previous satsang. Okay. So this is the first, the most ancient story that Swamiji used to tell us. Okay. Now, because we have time, I would like to continue with the second story. So I'll just go on until 8:30. Whatever stories I can tell you by then, I will. And then I'll continue in the subsequent satsangs, the rest of the stories, provided you people are interested in them. Okay. If you're not interested, please let me know. I'll change it and then we'll discuss some questions instead. Okay. Some spiritual questions instead of narrating the stories that Swamiji told me. The second story that I want to take up is that of Narada Mahamuni. We all know Narada Mahamuni. Know in the sense, we heard stories of Narada Mahamuni. Okay. So what I also read and heard was that he was one of the sons of Brahma, Brahmadeva. So that is what we are told. Okay. Now, in so much so that in one very popular movie, Telugu movie by the name of Bhu Kailas, many of you must have watched it. It's a very ancient movie, okay, very old movie. It's a black and white movie. It's a movie about Ravana, the story of Ravana. So in that story, Narada also appears in that story, and he addresses Ravana as his grandson. And Ravana also addresses Narada as his grandfather. So that is because people connect Narada to Brahma as Brahma's son. And Ravana was related to also Brahma. I think he was Brahma's great grandson or something like that. Okay, or great great grandson, something like that. Okay, I don't remember the lineage there. So it was believed to that extent that everybody believes that Narada is the son of Brahma. Okay, now let me now tell you what happened with Swamiji. Once, I think I took his name earlier, Mr. P.N. Murthy. I took this name when we discussed about the Buddha statue in Hyderabad. So P.N. Murthy had come to Bangalore and he was at the ashram in the night after the bhajans. So P.N. Murthy was in Swamiji's room and he was discussing with Swamiji something. I happened to be there, so I listened to this. Okay, I witnessed this. I was there in Swamiji's room. So P.N. Murthy started off saying that Swamiji, it is said that sage Narada is the son of Brahma, and that he was born from Brahma's head. Okay. So suddenly Swamiji retorted, nonsense. Everyone was born from here. Everyone was born from here. So he was pointing to his groin and then telling P.N. Murthy, everyone is born only from here, not from the head or anywhere else. Okay. So P.N. Murthy continued the argument. But Swamiji, it is written that Brahma is the Manasa Putra. Sorry, Narada is the Manasa Putra of Brahmadeva. Okay. So Swamiji replied to him, no, he is not. So I don't know what the meaning of Manasa Putra is. Okay, but Swamiji said, no, it is clearly written in, and then he mentioned a Purana. I don't remember exactly what it was. Was it the Narada Purana? I don't remember. That Narada is the son of a maid servant in a rich Brahmin's house. Okay. Now, this lady was a widow. Her husband had passed away. So, for a livelihood, she would live at the Brahmin's house, and she was a maid. She used to work in that house, take care of the people of the house, as well as visiting devotees. Now, this rich Brahmin had a uh, practice of inviting great saints to his house. I don't know where he lived, which place, but he would invite uh, great saints, meaning rishis and maharshis, to his house on a regular basis, and the saints would come and stay at his house as long as they wanted. As long as they were there in that town or city, they would remain, they would stay in his house. So Narada's mother, who was a servant in that house, she advised Narada, who was a child, he was a little child at the time. So she advised him, see, the people who are coming here and staying here, they are not ordinary people. They are great saints with a lot of spiritual power. Okay, so whenever you get the opportunity, try to serve them. Serve them sincerely and with all your heart. Okay, you will receive their blessings, which will be good for you. And so Narada believed that, believed his mother. And as per his mother's advice, any saint who came there, Narada would get himself involved in service to that saint as long as they lived there. Okay. And he would take care of all their needs, provide them all the help that they require as a boy and as he grew up. Okay. So Swamiji explained to us that one of those great saints, Maharshis, who came to live there and who was served by Narada, gave him the boon, saying that you will be able to travel to whichever loka you want, to whichever world you want. Okay? Like we have Brahmaloka, Vaikunta, Kailasa, or Indraloka, Devaloka, we say. Okay? So Narada had the power to travel to any of these lokas anytime he wished. And that came from the blessing of a Maharshi that is served. Okay? We know he was one of the dearest devotees of Lord Vishnu. But Swamiji revealed to us that this is because of a blessing from a Maharshi. Again, I don't think this is an original story from Swamiji, okay? This is there in our scriptures. Only I was not aware of that. And I think some of us are not aware of that. So I wanted to narrate this. This is about Sage Narada. Okay. Now, there is another story. This is a long one. So let me cover to the extent I can, and then we can continue in the next session. This is about, this is again a story told by Swamiji. Okay. And see how logically he argues and narrates the points. Okay. We all know about Sita Swayamvara. That is the Swayamvara where all the princes or all the suitable people are invited by the bride's father. Okay. And the bride's father puts up a challenge, a difficult challenge, saying that whoever can meet this challenge only that person can marry my daughter. So this was a practice in the royal families in those days. Okay. Similarly, we have the Draupadi Swayamvara also in Mahabharata. So I am talking about the Swayamvara of Sita Devi, Sita Ma. Okay. Now, at the time when the Swayamvara of Sita Devi happened, or just before that, Rama was not in Ayodhya. He had gone along with Vishwamitra to protect his yajna. We all know that, right? That Vishwamitra came to Dasharatha's court and he asked for Sri Rama to be sent along with him. Okay? So Dasharatha finds some excuse. He says, no, 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 he cannot come now. He's a young boy, you know, and he cannot come and fight those terrific Rakshasas there. If you want, I'll come with you along with the whole of my army. And I'll punish them and drive them away and make sure that your yajna goes on without any obstacles. Vishwamitra refuses. No, I want your son to come with me. So that is when he discloses that his son Rama was in a depression. Okay? This he does it when Vashishta demands, I mean his guru Vashishta, who was also in the same assembly in the court, the guru demands from Dasharatha, why are you refusing to send your son Rama along with Vishwamitra? So then he discloses that Rama is actually in a state of depression. He is not eating properly, he is not sleeping properly, his health is very bad, and he is very weak. So I cannot send him in this condition to the forests along with Vishwamitra. Okay. So that is when Rama is summoned to the court, and Vashishta asks him, what happened to you? Why are you behaving like this? Then the whole story of the Yoga Vashishta takes place. We'll come to that some other time. I don't want to spend time on that now. Okay. I'm telling you the background. Okay. What was the situation and the condition of Rama before Sita Swayamvara? Okay. So then the Yoga Vashishta happened and Rama recovered completely. And then he was sent along with Vishwamitra to the forest to protect the yajna from the Rakshasas. And that yajna was successfully completed with the protection of Rama and Lakshmana. Both of them go along with Vishwamitra. Okay. Now, what actually happened was that the invitation for Sita Swayamvara was not received by Rama. Maybe it was sent to Ayodhya, but Rama was not in Ayodhya at that time. Rama and Lakshmana were not there. They were in the forest along with sage Vishwamitra. Okay? But Vishwamitra also got an invitation because he was a rishi, a maharshi. Okay, so to that yajna, all the maharshis were invited by Janaka Maharaja. So Janaka invited the maharshis, and one of those maharshis happened to be Vishwamitra. Okay. So Vishwamitra went to the Swayamvara to Mithila, and he asked Rama and Lakshmana to accompany him. So all three of them went to Mithila. Okay. And after reaching Mithila also, they stayed along with Vishwamitra. They were not treated like princes. All the other princes, I mean, the sons of big kings, great kings who came there, they all would have been given appropriate accommodation, okay, for the princess. But Rama and Lakshmana were not given that accommodation. They were staying with Vishwamitra because they came with Vishwamitra So Rama didn't have an intention to participate in the Swayamvara, in the competition to win the hand of Sita. Okay? And he was dressed like an ascetic, both Rama and Lakshmana, because they were living in the forest for few months, probably years, I don't know. But then that was their situation. Okay? So from the forest, they directly came to Mithila. Okay? Then this Swayamvara happened. What was the challenge? That the bow of Shiva, Lord Shiva's bow, was in Mithila with Janaka Maharaja. So Janaka put up a challenge saying that my daughter will marry only the prince who can string this bow. I hope you people understand what is stringing the bow, no? In Telugu, we call it ekkupetadam. Okay, so the bow had to be bent, which requires a lot of strength and skill, and the string has to be put on that so that the arrows can be fired using that string. Okay, so this was the challenge that Janaka Maharaja had put in the assembly of the princes who had come to marry Sita Devi. Okay, now none of them could succeed in doing that. Some of them tried and they failed. So seeing very strong, very powerful people failing to do that, the others simply backed away. This is the story that we hear. So when that happened and when nobody could succeed in stringing that bow, Dasratha was in trouble. He was very worried and he was disappointed. Okay. The disappointment because he thought at least one prince will be there who will be able to string the bow and win Sita's hand, but nobody could. So that was the disappointment. But what was the reason for his worry? He started wondering whether the challenge was too difficult. And so what? Can he reduce the challenge now? Can he change the challenge? He cannot. He's not supposed to change his word. I mean, in those days, the word, especially the word of a king, was given that kind of an importance. A word that is given was never changed. That is the story of Dasratha and Kaikeyi, right? That is why Rama had to go to the forest. But that is later, much later. I am again at the Sita Swayamvara. Okay. So he was wondering, because of my challenge, is my daughter going to remain unmarried throughout her life? So this was the problem that worried Janaka Maharaja. Okay, so he was looking around for solutions. Nobody could string the bow. So Swamiji tells us that it is at this time that sage Vishwamitra ordained Sri Rama, go and string the bow. Okay, so the way Swamiji tells us, until then, until he was ordained to string the bow by his Guru Vishwamitra, Rama didn't even have an idea of participating in the challenge or marrying Sita Devi. Okay. Now we hear stories about, some romantic stories about Sita and Rama saw each other before the wedding and they fell in love and all that. Okay. Now that is nonsense. That didn't happen. Rama was like an ascetic and nobody knew who that boy was. I mean, in the assembly, okay. Vishwamitra knew who he was. But none of the others could recognize Rama because he was in the dress of an ascetic. See, try to understand it. He was, probably unshaven, okay? His hair was uncut because he was living in a forest for a few months until then. Both him and Lakshmana. Right? So in that form, he came forward. First he bowed to Vishwamitra. He touched his feet and took his blessings. And then he went ahead and he tried to string the bow, and the bow broke in two. Okay, it became two pieces. So he was declared the winner. So now Sita Devi came forward to garland him because he could successfully string the bow, and not only that, the bow broke because he strung it. Okay. Now, what Swamiji used to tell us, again, not just once, several times, was that Rama could do it. Rama could string the bow because of the blessings of Vishwamitra. It was not just his strength. By virtue of it, he could string the bow, Shiva's bow, okay? It was because Vishwamitra gave him the blessings, okay? There were many powerful princes there and kings, very strong fellows, who were not living in forest like Rama. In a forest, what kind of a food will a prince get compared to the food that he would eat if he is in the kingdom, if he is in his palace? Okay. So Rama and Lakshmana were both of that, in that situation, in that condition. And now please remember, as I told you, a few days or months before that, Rama was in a state of depression. He was fasting. He became weak. He would not sleep. Now, such a person, how could he become so strong to not only string the bow, but also break a bow like Shiva's bow? Okay. So Swamiji used to argue with us, saying that no, it was not Rama's strength or skill. It was the blessing of Vishwamitra which allowed him to do that. Okay. So this is the story. Balu, 8:30 అయింది కదా Balu? So let us stop it here. I will continue the story in the next session, Balu. Okay, now, any other questions, Navya?
Yes, Uncle, I can see one question in the Zoom chat. When you were discussing about the first question, Hari Garu raised a question.
Yeah.
Hari Garu is in the Zoom meeting, so I would like to unmute him. So,
Yeah, please.
Hari Garu, you are unmuted now, so you can ask your question. Hari Garu, I would like you to ask the question that you asked in the Zoom chat.
Probably he prefers that you read it, Navya.
Okay, Uncle.
Go ahead.
So, Hari Garu says, Namaste. So from this incident, is Swamiji same as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu while Balaram Bose was present in an other body?
Yes. We know a few of the previous births of Swamiji, Shivabalayogi, and one of them was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay. Does that clarify? It's there in the books. If you read Swamiji's books, you will see that. And again, this is not something that Swamiji himself claimed. Okay. This is from a scripture called the Nadis. Okay. And some of Swamiji's devotees had accessed two of the Nadis, which are called the Kumara Nadi and Bhrigu Nadi. So from those Nadis, the earlier births of Swamiji were identified. One of those births was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The other one was Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Okay. Then the third one, as we had discussed in the last session, was Lahari Mahashay. So all of these are prior incarnations of Swamiji. Okay, there are a few others also, like Kabir Das, which I mentioned in one of my earlier sessions. Then Tulsi Das is also one of the incarnations of Swamiji. Okay, Shivaji Maharaj is one more of his incarnations. Like that, there is a long list of incarnations. Okay, again, some of those incarnations are listed in the book, and Swamiji has disclosed some more to us, which are not from the nadis. Okay, Swamiji himself told us that he was those saints in those periods. Okay, the other thing that comes to my mind is uh, Tapasviji Maharaj's guru, Sri Chandra Maharaj, who was the son of Guru Nanak. Okay, so Sri Chandra Maharaj is also was also an earlier incarnation of Shiva Balayogi. Okay, yeah. Amma, any other question?
Yeah, there is one more question in the YouTube live chat, Uncle.
Yeah, Navya, please.
The question was asked by Ananda Raj Garu.
Ah,
The question is, what were the instructions given to the devotees regarding japa sadhana? Was Swamiji insisting japam also along with meditation?
okay. Uh, this question was asked of Swamiji. Okay. By japa, it could be, I mean, to my knowledge, it could be two things, either it is nama japa, repeating the name of God, like Sri Rama, okay? Or it could be a mantra japa, reciting a mantra repeatedly. That is called mantra, okay? Now, people asked Swamiji that, Swamiji, you are initiating people into meditation, but you don't give a mantra. Generally, we find that a guru who initiates his disciples or devotees, they give the disciples a mantra to recite, okay, or a japa, a nama japa. So Swamiji said, no, he doesn't do that. Again, this is I can give you two reasons for that. Swamiji used to tell us that whatever his guru taught him, he taught us the same thing. Okay. So when his guru initiated him into tapas the first time on the 7th of August 1949, the Guru Jangama did not give Swamiji any mantra. So that is the way Swamiji also initiated his devotees into dhyana. Okay. Now, the reply of Swamiji to this question is, Swamiji does not give a mantra at the time of initiation, but if the devotee or disciple requires a mantra, not that he desires a mantra. No, I am not talking about desire. If the disciple or the devotee needs a mantra for his sadhana, he will get the mantra automatically in his dhyan. In the meditation itself, he will receive the mantra. And when that happens, he or she can recite the mantra. Okay? Then again, people asked him, why do you have that kind of a process? Why don't you give a mantra at the time of initiation itself? Why do you say that if the devotee needs a mantra, he will get it in his meditation, then he can come? Then Swamiji explained, see, people of all religions also come to Swamiji, not just one religion. And devotees of all gods come to Swamiji. Okay? There could be devotees of Shiva, there could be devotees of Rama, there could be devotees of Hanuman, there could be devotees of Devi. They all come to Swamiji for initiation into meditation. Okay? So, take an example. Let us say a person is a devotee of Rama, meaning he is drawn to Rama, his Ishtadaiva is Rama. And when Swamiji initiates him to meditation, he gives the mantra of Shiva, Om Namah Shivaya, and then he says, you recite this mantra and then do the meditation. Now, what will happen in the mind of the devotee is that he is drawn towards Rama. Okay? But now Swamiji has given him a mantra of Shiva. So there is a contradiction between, his liking and what he is initiated with, the mantra that he is initiated with. So he'll constantly remain in that conflict. His mind will keep on thinking about that and feeling that conflict. Okay? So instead, Swamiji says, the better thing to do is don't give them a mantra. And if they get a mantra, like for example, this devotee whose Ishtadaiva is Rama, let us say, okay? I'm just giving you an example. I'm not saying that this happened or anything like that. Just an example so you understand the principle that Swamiji followed. Okay. Now this devotee is a devotee. I mean, his Ishtadaiva is Rama, and then he starts the meditation. And in the meditation, he receives the mantra of Shiva. Because he has received it by himself, the probability of conflict is much, much lower now. Because he thinks he has received the mantra by himself, right? So yes, his Ishtadaiva is Rama, but now that he has received the Shiva mantra, not given by anybody, any particular person, but he has received it by himself, he would be inclined to recite that mantra. Okay? So Swamiji explained that this is the reason Swamiji does not give a mantra. Okay? And the religion, I mean, I don't know whether I should call all of these religions, okay? But this is the main reason that Swamiji does not give mantra. But I have come across several devotees who practiced meditation regularly, and in their meditation, they get the mantras, okay? They get the mantras and they get different mantras at different times of the sadhana. I mean, I don't mean different mantras in the same day. I'm not talking about that. So let us say a person starts doing the meditation initiated by Swamiji. After a few days or a few months, he gets one mantra, he or she. Okay? So that person will start reciting that mantra. Now, after a period of a few months or a few years, he will get another mantra. So he will be asked to stop the previous mantra and start reciting the second mantra. And he will do that. And generally the practice is that don't disclose your mantra to anybody else. Okay? Now, if you have read Swamiji's life history, you will come to know that even Swamiji was given different mantras during different times of his tapas. Okay? Like each time he changed the direction, he was given a different mantra. He was given the mantra of Surya by Tapasviji Maharaj. He recited that and he attained Siddhi in that. Okay? So later on, for every direction, he was given a different mantra and he attained the Siddhi of that direction and that mantra also. Okay? I hope I have answered your question sufficiently. Yeah, Navya. Anything else?
Yes, Uncle. There is
Yeah.
one more question in YouTube live chat, Uncle.
Yeah.
It is from Giri Jairaj Garu.
Okay.
The question is, did Swamiji get a vision of Vedic and scripture knowledge after tapas? Or have they read them before tapas?
Okay. Now, I have information about both the things, okay? Now, let me tell you a little in detail. See, until Swamiji completed tapas, that is until 1961, we know for certain that he did not read any of the scriptures. Okay. But after he came to the Bangalore ashram, some devotees presented him with some books like the Yoga Vasishta. Okay, all the volumes, the 4 volumes, I think, of Yoga Vasishta were given to Swamiji and he read them. You know, he knew Telugu. He learned Telugu when he was in the school. He studied up to 5th standard, so he could read Telugu, no other language. Okay, so Telugu books were given to him after he came over to Bangalore, and I know that he read those books because he himself disclosed that. Swamiji himself told us that he read those books. Okay. So we assume that because he read the Yoga Vasishta, he would advise people to read Yoga Vasishta when they wanted to understand his philosophy. Okay. But then later on, I came to know that one of the devotees who took initiation from Swamiji before 1960, before he completed his tapas, that devotee was also advised to read Yoga Vasishta by Swamiji. Okay. So we don't know how he got that knowledge. How did he know that there is a scripture by the name of Yoga Vasishta and the philosophy in it? So we'll have to assume that he got it through he got that knowledge through the tapashakti. Okay. But again, as I explained, that's not the only way he got the knowledge. He actually literally read the Yoga Vasishta after he came to Bangalore, but not before then. Okay. Now, this is one way he got this knowledge. There is another way which he himself explained to us. This is about Chamundeshwari Devi, okay, whose temple is on the Chamundi hill in Mysore. So when Swamiji visited the Chamundeshwari temple in Mysore, near Mysore or in Mysore, Swamiji told us that he was there sitting on the hill in meditation, and he told us that he clearly saw in a vision the whole story of Chamundeshwari. Okay, this is what he told us 2 or 3 times. So like that, I don't know how exactly he got the knowledge of the scriptures or the ancient stories. Okay, I know some books he read, but not all of them. But he had the knowledge of all of them. I hope that answers your question. ಅಮ್ಮ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸೌಂಡ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಡ್ರಮ್ಮ, ಡಿಸ್ಟರ್ಬ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Yeah, Navya?
Yes, Uncle. That's all from the YouTube side of it and from the Facebook side of it.
Okay, Navya. Anything else from the people on the group? The people on the Zoom meeting?
The last question was from Harigaru, Uncle. That's all
No.
from the Zoom also.
Okay, right. Now just tell them, Mama, if anybody has any question, we have another 10 minutes left. So they can ask the question and we can have a discussion on that.
Yeah, so if anybody wants to ask any question or if they can, you can unmute yourself or you can put it in the chat.
Hello, good morning, good evening.
Hi, Chandra.
It's getting very addictive, you know. I cannot resist listening to this on every Saturday evening. It's more than a bedtime story, actually.
Okay, Chandra,
Very-
thank you very much.
Very interesting. Thank
If
you so
people
much.
like it, then it's good.
It is. All these stories
Yeah.
we never heard before. Thank you. Please
Okay.
carry on and continue
Yeah.
this. Thank you. Balayogi Maharaj ki jai.
Yeah. See, actually, one of the doubts I had, Chandra, was the Indian devotees may like these stories, but I was not sure that the others may appreciate them. Okay, so I had that doubt. So I would like to uh, get some clarification from the devotees who attended this meeting. Yeah, whether they like these stories or they prefer a question and answer instead of the stories. Okay, so I
Oh,
had
but
that question in mind.
this satsang itself, it's so intoxicating. I think it should go on forever if it's possible. Let's
Okay,
get their comments too as well. Thank you.
okay,
Thank you.
Chandra. Thank you.
Balayogi Maharaj ki
With
jai.
Swamiji's blessings. Yeah,
Yes, you have it. Definitely, you
yeah.
have it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Uncle, we have one more question from
Yeah,
YouTube live chat, Uncle.
yeah,
That is also from Anandaraj Garu.
yeah.
The question is, was Swamiji insisting on any stotram or any sahasranamas?
No, he never insisted on any of those rituals, either the stotram or the sahasranamas. But I know that he encouraged people to do them. Like for example, there were some devotees, I can take the name of Yashoda Akka, who used to recite the Lalita Sahasranamam, and Swamiji encouraged her to do that. Swamiji also encouraged other devotees to recite the Lalita Sahasranama. And I know that in Swamiji's ashram in Bangalore, every Friday evening, there is a recital of uh, Lalita Sahasranama in the Trimurti temple, and a number of devotees come and participate in that. Okay. So Swamiji did encourage all the rituals that we follow in the Sanatana Dharma, but he didn't insist on any of them. Okay, he did not make it a rule that all devotees have to recite this or anything like that. It's up to the taste of the devotee. If a devotee likes one particular sahasranama, he or she can do it. That's all. So it's the freedom of the devotee. Okay, yeah.
ಅಂಕಲ್ ಭಾರ್ಗವ್ ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೇಳ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಇದ್ದ.
ಆಯ್ತು ಮಾಲು ಕೇಳು.
Bhargavanna, you can unmute yourself and ask the question. I have unmuted him, Uncle. Maybe. Yeah.
Thanks, Navya. Hi, Uncle. I have one question, Uncle. Has Swamiji ever spoken about Kalki?
Yeah, Bhargav. No, is this the Bhargav from
Kadalanka.
Kadalanka? Yeah, okay.
Yes, yes, sir.
Yes, Bhargav. Swamiji did speak about Kalki Avatar.
Yeah, Uncle.
Okay. So the regular story that we know about Kalki Avatar, that he is going to expose himself or come out into the open, okay?
Okay.
When it is required, but we don't know exactly when he'll come out. Neither did Swamiji disclose that. Okay? And
Yeah,
what
okay.
we know is that the Kalki Avatar will get the blessings from Swamiji, to do his work. So that is also one of the duties of Shivabalayogi Maharaj. So people might wonder, Shivabalayogi is not in his physical body right as of now. So how can he give his blessings to Kalki Avatar? But we all know that it's not necessary for a yogi or God to be available in his physical body to bless a devotee. Okay? Like we all know, we are receiving blessings from him. A number of us are receiving blessings from him. We are receiving help from him. He answers our prayers. So in the same way, being in the astral form, he can give his blessings to Kalki Avatar. So this is what I know, Bhargav. Yeah.
Thanks, Uncle.
Yeah. Anything else, Amma? We still have about 9 minutes.
Nothing from the YouTube and Facebook side of it, Uncle.
Ah,
Even, even in the Zoom chat.
okay. I see that you answered one of the questions, Amma.
Uh,
Yeah.
that is
Regarding,
not,
you are doing it in Telugu, right?
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Is that it, Balu? Any other questions or anything else that you need to do? Any announcements, Balu?
ಫೇಸ್ಬುಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಈ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದೀವಿ ಅಂಕಲ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ
ಹಾ. ಸೊ ಬರ್ತಾ
ಮತ್ತೆ
ಇದೆಯಾ ಫೇಸ್ಬುಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ?
ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂಕಲ್.
ಓಕೆ.
ಫೇಸ್ಬುಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ.
ಓಕೆ.
ತುಂಬಾ ಜನ ಹೊಸಬರು ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂಕಲ್, ಎಲ್ಲ
ಹೌದು ಬಾಲು.
ಅನ್ನೋನ್.
So I just want to let you all know that henceforth we will be live casting this Zoom session both in YouTube as well as in Facebook. So you will receive the links on both YouTube as well as Facebook also, in addition to the WhatsApp groups of Swamiji. Okay, Swamiji's devotees actually. We have several WhatsApp groups. So the links will be shared on all the WhatsApp groups. So you can just click the link and join either Facebook or YouTube. Okay, or yeah, by clicking the same link, you can also watch the recording of the video. Okay, after the session is over. I think it's going to be there for a while. So any of you who is interested and who cannot join the meeting in real time, then they can watch the video and they can listen to the audio also. It's all available from the same link. You just need to click the same link that is there in WhatsApp or YouTube or Facebook. You will see the live video. Okay. Thank you.
Uncle, we have one more question in the YouTube live chat, Uncle.
Okay.
Would you like to take this up now or?
Yeah, but what's the question, Amma? Let me know the question, then we
Yeah.
can decide.
The question is from, again, the anonymous user.
Okay.
Okay. The question is, Uncle, last satsang you said yogi doesn't have mind, so he doesn't feel emotions. What about the love he shows and the enjoyment we see in his faces in videos?
Did I say that a yogi doesn't have a mind? See, what Swamiji advised us is that we should have control over the mind. Okay. And it is true, although I don't remember whether I said it by myself, it is true that a yogi destroys his mind. Okay. I mean, to the extent, what I heard is that unless the mind is destroyed, a person doesn't become a yogi. Okay. But yeah, let us understand what these people, these yogis, they mean by the mind. Okay. Now, what they mean is actually the emotional part of the mind. Okay. Now, is happiness an emotion which needs to be controlled? Okay. I don't think so. Yeah, I think this question requires a detailed consideration. So let me take this up. in one of the subsequent sessions, and we'll try to discuss this in detail, okay? What do we mean by control of the mind? What role do the emotions have in controlling the mind, or whether a yogi has a mind or not? We can discuss all of that. Okay, but it takes a lot more time. So let us take that up in one of the sessions. Navya, please forward that message to me by WhatsApp. Okay, or you can also put it in the document, Navya, that Shravani has created.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just record the name of the caller, the person. I mean, if it is anonymous, you'll have to take it as anonymous only. Okay, just
Yeah.
record the date when he sent the question, and then we'll try to address that in one of the subsequent sessions. Okay. Yeah,
Sure,
Navya.
uncle.
Yeah.
That's all from the live and the Zoom, uncle.
Okay. Because we have 2 minutes, I just want to share one statement that Swamiji made. I'll try to keep it short. Okay, this incident happened in US, in the USA. I think it happened in Seattle. Seattle or Portland, I'm not sure. Okay. So there were a few devotees around Swamiji, sitting around Swamiji. Swamiji is on the dais, was on the dais. And so suddenly the topic came to how do we define a yogi? Okay, so the devotees were discussing amongst themselves. Now they have seen a yogi, they have met the yogi, they have been initiated by a yogi, they are spending time with the yogi. So they wanted to define a yogi. Who is a yogi or what is a yogi? So there were different answers given by different devotees. Okay. And so in the process of the discussion, suddenly one lady asked Swamiji, so Swamiji, does that mean that a yogi has a lot of intelligence? Okay. Uh, Swami said, no, very little intelligence. I mean, he showed the tiny bit of his finger and he said, no, only this much of intelligence. Then again, they started wondering, if a yogi is not fully intelligence, then what is a yogi? Okay. So suddenly Swamiji spurted out, I mean, with a smile on his face in English. Okay. He hardly spoke English, probably one or two words, or suddenly he's blurted out, saying with a smile on his face, yogi is love. Okay. So that should straight away answer your question as to how a yogi can show love. Okay. The yogi himself is love. That is what Swamiji was explaining. Okay. So he doesn't have a mind. Even his intelligence is very low. That question came up because every time a question was asked, he would immediately come up with an answer. He wouldn't think, he didn't have to research, go to papers and all that. Nothing. Whatever question was asked of him, immediately the reply would come from his mouth. Okay. So that made them feel that a yogi is intelligence, buddhi. Okay. Swami said, no, yogi is not buddhi. Then what is yogi? Yogi is love. Okay. And he used to say that, he loves everyone. No discrimination, no differentiation. He loves everyone. Okay. Now, at times, if he shows anger, again, please mind my language. I'm not saying that he gets angry. I'm saying if he shows anger, it is for the expected impact on the audience. Hmm? Okay, Amma. I think we'll close it now. It's 9 o'clock. So we can take it up in the next session. Okay? Thanks.
Okay, Uncle.
Thanks, Navya. Thank you, everyone. Shri 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 Shivabalayogi Maharaj ki Jai.
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 Yeah.